So I put up the title XRP Bridge for All the Money, and I just simply think that XRP is going to be the best bridge to connect all forms of value as we start to tokenize every single aspect of our world, right? This is the tokenized internet of value that's going to be exponentially growing over the decades to come. And simply put, when you are looking for the best liquidity, you are going to find it on the XRP ledger. And so I wanted to bring it back to the main utility, the main function here of XRP serving as that bridge currency, connecting everything through that interoperability that we've known to come and love that the XRP ledger offers. Now, pulling up here a couple quotes, Anders shares this with us in regards to the Ripple patent from 2021. And we did cover, this is, Ripple's ODL patent. And we went into how this really is not just a cross-border payment deal. It's for cross currencies. It's a cross-medium transaction service. What that means is that it's meant to move every form of value, not just currencies cross-border. It's cross-medium transaction services, moving anything of value across this planet. Quote, a guaranteed exchange rate and manage customer pools. In other words, they can make sure settlement with XRP is the cheapest option in a certain corridor by covering the difference. This is why it helps that Ripple is sitting on 50 billion XRP, like Bob Way said. Now, he's talking about this little snippet right here, and I'm going to play this clip. This is Bob Way with the Bearable Bull, and I'm going to play this clip here of him explaining why it's so critical that Ripple still has that 50 billion XRP war chest and what they're going to be able to do with it as far as using XRP to incentivize the best liquidity being found on each currency pair. Let's listen in here on Bob Way, who was one of the original 10 employees at Ripple.
Yes. And so the problem with that, when people look at bridge currencies, what they're saying about stabilizing it is in order for something to be the lowest cost, it really has to be sort of a predictable cost. And if something is stable, it's easy to make a narrow spread on trading it because the price never moves. If the price moves a lot, the spreads get wider because people don't know which direction it's going to move. And so if you're doing a bridge currency, you actually have to do twice as many trades. I have to trade dollars for XRP and XRP for euros. And I have to add on the fees caused by both of those spreads. So if I want that to be the cheapest path, it has to have each section, the dollars to XRP and the XRP to euros, has to be less than half of the dollar to euro direct market spread. And so how can you do that? Well, if you happen to have a giant pile of XRP, you can actually incentivize traders to create a narrower spread by supplementing them with some XRP to make that a narrow spread. And then as more people trade and the volume goes up, you can show that will basically drain all of the other markets of liquidity because all of the trades are going through this market. And the profitability in trading something is the spread times the number of transactions. And if you drain all the transactions away, you drain the profitability of the other markets. So you can actually force everything to go through XRP as a bridge currency if you hold some XRP and you use that in that way, which is sort of what Bitcoin does and Ethereum does with mining or these other block rewards, except you're rewarding a different group of people. Bitcoin rewards miners. This algorithm would reward market makers or liquidity providers because that's in the long-term benefit of the whole ecosystem. So anyway, that's what that patent is about.
It says that's what that patent is about. And it's about, like you said, if you used XRP as a strategic weapon, right, as David called it, you'd be able to essentially force everyone to come use the best liquidity. So because you're going to diminish their margin that they have somewhere else, people are just going to come to this bridge on the XRP ledger because it's going to have the best liquidity, the tightest spreads, and it's going to diminish the profitability of the arbitrage that they're getting somewhere else. I hope that makes sense in simple terms, right? Now, Anders had shared this. The XRP escrow is still Ripple's war chest. Don't get it confused. And I had retweeted it and I said, Ripple's strategic weapon, right? That's what XRP is. And Anders continues. He says, you need a large entity to force XRP into bridge asset position by subsidizing XRP in key corridors to make sure it's the cheapest path. And this was so hilarious to me, as there were so many people that were, upset that Ripple was incentivizing market makers and exchanges by giving them XRP at a discount, right? Well, this is how you build out liquidity. This is what you do. And all these fudsters wanted to, morph this and twist it, confuse the facts into some deal about, exchanges are only interested in listing XRP if they can, get some from Ripple or whatever. Ripple's begging folks to list on their exchanges. No. But Ripple is offering incentives to get people on board. This is what we want to have done. Now, Bob Way wrote down the entire process on XRP chat. Now that XRP is cleared, I'm sure the process is easier to convince entities using XRP. And we're talking about the clarity, right, as not being a security. This is, of course, is consumptive of XRP. Now, this is why it's key that Ripple is holding a huge amount of XRP. The higher the price, the better, since the more capital they can subsidize for the corridors. All of this Bob Way said. I'm not making anything up. Read. Bob Way wrote a lot about the patent. Now we have the ODL patent granted in 2021, and it describes exactly what Bob Way wrote about in 2019, or as he called it, the mechanism. But sure, just ignore it. Now, when we look here at this tweet, it shows us, quote, most of the other cryptocurrency teams don't have the resources they need to drive their currency into the bridge position, nor do they even understand the economics of the ecosystem well enough to know why that is true. Okay, so now we start to understand and why we always said that Ripple's distinguish themselves amongst the rest of the space. No one's even close. And no one's even talking about really making their currency a bridge. Some people say, okay, we're going to be we're going to be a bridge. We're going to do cross-border. We're going to be good for payments, yada, yada, yada. You hear that all the time, right? But nobody was bold enough to come out and say that we're making a reserve currency. Only the Bitcoin bros talk about Bitcoin being a reserve currency, right? And the ODL patent was really the mechanism here to allow for the cross-medium transactions, right? To have the best liquidity. And then, as I've been talking about as of late with the AMM, that's the final ingredient to the secret sauce that puts this whole thing together, because it allows folks to put up liquidity without any impairment loss, hopefully. And they're going to be able to get rewarded for building out that liquidity as well. So not only do we already have a great mechanism for being a bridge currency, right? But more and more people are going to come because there's going to be incentive to fund these liquidity pools, and you're going to be able to get a return on your XRP or whatever other currency that you want to build liquidity in. This gets very exciting. Now we have another clip to kind of back this up. Tom, One Piece XRP, shares this. Listen to this clip a couple thousand times and it might click. And we're talking about David Schwartz here. And it says, quote, so it can't just be one network. If there's one network at the hub, that network has to be built for that role with interoperability, taking priority over everyone doing things our way. So essentially, you need just that base layer that's simple, conservative, and works for payments. The bridges, the mechanisms for smart contracts, all these other different things that we want to do with blockchain, that's fantastic. At the base level of the XRP ledger, what we're doing here is we're building out that bridge mechanism for anything of value, and it's simply just designed to provide the best liquidity for moving said value. David Schwartz chiming in. Let's listen in here.
1,500 cryptocurrencies that don't interoperate, and almost nothing non-crypto interoperates with Bitcoin. We just recreated the new version of the same walled garden problem. Instead of building an internet based on compatibility, we built one network and required everyone to join that network, demanding too many sacrifices too quickly. Internet without Cisco. So it can't be just one network. And if there's one network at the hub, that network has to be built for that role, with interoperability taking priority over everyone do things our way. It has to be based on bridges, not on walls. XRP and the XRP ledger were built specifically for this kind of role. The XRP ledger was purpose-built for transacting in both the native neutral asset, XRP, and also in issued assets, a bridge to CBDCs, stablecoins, other payment networks, and other kinds of assets such as securities. The XRP ledger has asset issuance built into the protocol. Issuance, authorization, payment, settlement, and exchange are native operations with simple APIs. Issued assets can represent fiat currency, securities, or anything else of fungible value that works like a currency. But of course, the XRP ledger can't handle all the world's payments. And I'm not proposing a one network solution. That's totally unrealistic. People want different things, and different countries have different problems. But XRP can be the hub or backbone that provides the fast international settlement piece, competing with other possible solutions to that same problem. It won't solve the last mile problem, but it will help with interoperability and concentrating liquidity so enterprises don't have to keep funds in every payment system they might need to make payments in. Just to repeat what I said at the beginning, CBDCs can make domestic settlement more efficient, and that's very important. You can't have good international payments without good domestic settlement, but they're not enough by themselves, and expecting them to bring benefits to small and medium enterprises and consumers and users is unrealistic unless we do a number of things. One of the things we discovered at Ripple is that you can give an enterprise a fantastic payment rail, and they'll still be hesitant to push the benefits to their customers because it makes the less modern parts of their system seem worse or unacceptable. It's often better to only provide payments that settle in 2 to 3 business days than to sometimes provide instant payments and sometimes provide payments that settle in 2 to 3 business days. People will now be more dissatisfied with the slower payments than they would be if you didn't seduce them with the better experience they only sometimes get. Perverse, but a fact. To some extent, you have to do everything to do anything, but CBDCs definitely can have a role to play.
And what he's talking about there is, right, it's hard to offer your client a service that makes the rest of your service offerings look like a complete joke. And so that's kind of been one of the pain points that Ripple's had approaching these enterprises is their offering, their liquidity makes the rest of the space irrelevant. I mean, it tarnishes the service offering for the clients of these institutions and banks. But it's an all or nothing approach, and I think that we're close to that max pain point that brings about the urgency to where they have to roll over to these types of solutions. And very simply put, what is XRP? It's the best bridge for any form of value. XRP is the best bridge for any form of value, right? And of course, we're talking about the XRP ledger, but you need that XRP native asset, native currency, to utilize the XRP ledger. To his point, with the issued assets, we're talking about CBDCs, we're talking about securities, we're talking about gold, silver, real estate, getting tokenized and put on the XRP ledger. And the reason why folks are going to choose to tokenize on the XRP ledger is because it is the best bridge. You want to sell your piece of real estate, get paid out in gold? Go ahead. Get paid out in silver? Sure. You want to get paid out in Dogecoin? Fantastic. Have fun. And so XRP being the bridge for all the money doesn't mean that all the money is going to flow across the XRP ledger. It means that we've set ourselves up to handle all the money. We've set ourselves up to move out of any form of value that you're trying to put on ledger. You can tokenize anything that you want with those issued assets. We have NFT capabilities. Now we have the AMM. That's going to be the final ingredient to building out the best liquidity, right? I'm so excited for what we have cooking right now. In the middle of this bear market recession, I wanted to bring it back to kind of just the fundamental basics. What is XRP? Why are we so excited about this? It's a unique solution here that no one else has a 10-year plus track record. No one else has over 400 banks and institutions already working with them. And so between Ripple and XRP, we're set to change the financial system as we know it. Many folks won't even know that they're using XRP, right? It's all going to be handled on the back end by the banks and institutions. Not really something that's gonna be, you know, a front facing, retail facing deal, right? You're just gonna be sending a payment from your bank to somebody else or some other country, whatever, right? And on the back end, these bridge currencies are going to connect and provide that interoperability. Now, for me, I'm holding on to just a few XRP, and I'm treating it as a reserve too. But I'm ready to see so much tokenized assets and value coming to this ledger over the coming decade. I think it's going to be absolutely massive, and I'm excited to ride the wave with you guys. Now, if you appreciate this video, please, can we smash it for me on the way out? If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. And right now, we got a special running over with our Patreon. If you sign up for a year membership of the Patreon group, you can save 13%. We would love to get you tapped in over there, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all.